Hi, everybody out there. My name is Geraldine McManus, and this is Where Does the Buffalo Roam? A new YouTube channel that I've been working on for a little bit, and lots of interesting things coming on this channel. One of the things I guess that I'm going to start with is who am I? Well, I'm Geraldine McManus, and I've sat out on above a pipeline for a year. And my wigwam is still there, and I've claimed that land as traditional Dakota territory. And it's been a long year, and I wanted to start out this new year with talking to everybody and explaining exactly what's kind of been going on out on the line. And this is a show that will bring you information about, and we'll talk about environmental activism and issues concerning Indigenous people around Turtle Island. There's lots to talk about, actually, and I think it's pretty endless, as a matter of fact, as to what there is to talk about. A lot. So I guess, I'm a little nervous here. This is my first live video. I wanted to do retape and do it, but I'm kind of thinking, you know what, let's just get this thing started. It's taken me a while to get to this point. I wanted to start actually New Year's Eve and bring in the new year by saying, Happy New Year to everybody. And I hope everybody had wonderful holidays. And so what this is about basically is really introducing a lot of interest in information, things that I've learned on the line. I will be discussing spirituality. So for starters, so that you understand, I'm a spiritual woman. I'm not a traditional woman. I've been to Standing Rock and seen a lot of very interesting things in my lifetime. I've talked with a lot of very interesting people in my lifetime. And I think that's one of the reasons that, it's kind of important to talk about the interesting things that I've come across. And a lot of them very much spiritual things that have connected the dots. Now, don't get me wrong, everyone out there, spirituality has again, not connected to religion. And it's a completely different kind of understanding, especially in regards to what it is that has been occurring in my life. And a lot of things have occurred in my life. And like I said, I've talked to a lot of people and found out that that some of my experiences are quite unique. And so I'm willing to share a lot of that. I'm willing to talk about that. And I hope that you'd be all interested in hearing stuff. Geez, this is I thought it'd be a little bit more I thought I'd just be a little bit more on top of my game here, but I kind of just got up, and I was supposed to do this last night because when you go to sign up for a YouTube channel, you have to wait 24 hours. I didn't know that. There's a lot of stuff that you have to do. I had to get my computers ready and get my everything set up. So anyway, so this is Where Does the Buffalo Roam? And the reason I chose that title is the buffalo for thousands of years has roamed Turtle Island, and they've roamed very far south and they roam very far north. Now, I'm not sure if that's always how it always has been. I'm sure it has been. I'm not going to pretend that I'm this great big historian, because I'm not. I'm not going to tell you things that I don't understand or I'm not really sure of. I will try and bring you as many facts as I possibly can. And of course, you all know that that's not always possible. I think that we don't know a lot of what is really going on out there. I think there's a lot of people in the dark, and I think that we have to try and bring a little bit light to people, because I feel that there are so many things that are going on with this climate action and environmental activism. And I think being a part of it has given me a lot of great insight over the last few years or more, actually, because I've always been one to stand up. And that kind of comes natural for a lot of people who actually really care about what's going on in the environment. Indigenous people, though, have been having to stand up for many, many things over the hundreds of years that we have been subjected to racism, to the genocide that's continuing to go on. And a big part of that is the environmental issues. So yeah, okay, so we're going to get into that more later. I have some interesting stuff to talk about in that regards, but for now, who I am, Geraldine, and you could Google my name, Geraldine McManus, and you'll see a lot of the stuff that I've been involved with. So you'll see a lot of you can read a lot of interviews on me. And so basically, I played you the video. It's in my channel here of me meeting the white buffalo. Thank you for the hat, Jojo. I wear a brown one like this as well. Jojo Wilson, thank you very much. She had these custom made for me over the winter, and it's been really nice to wear my hat. I get a lot of comments, and it's created a lot of discussion and conversation. And so thank you very much, Jojo Wilson. Awesome. Flag. Thank you very much, River. You're the bomb. And so anyways, so me, I was born in Winnipeg here, Winnipeg, Manitoba. We moved over to BC when I was a little bit older, or no, when I was a baby, and then moved back. And so I'm very connected with the West Coast, and it's been very interesting because I've had very interesting things happen to me over on the West Coast when I was out there. I've met some wonderful people when I lived out there, and I'm still connected with those people. Hi, everybody in BC, in Vancouver. Hi, Sandy. And so anyways, so my life has been very interesting. And a lot of people have said to me, you should write a book about that stuff. It's pretty interesting. And yeah, probably will at some point, I guess. But right now, I'm not capable of doing that. So a lot of very interesting spiritual things happened to me since I was very, very young. So as far as I can remember, I was well, actually, I have a great memory. I remember me walking around when I was a baby and not being able to talk. I remember living in a house, actually downtown from here, that was very high in spiritual activity. And I guess that's where a lot of what I remember really started happening. Speaking with spirits that used to walk out of my closet, and yeah, and that's probably sounds a little bit familiar. When I seen that movie with that young boy, geez, I can't remember the name of it. I know you guys remember of it. Anyways, he's seen people coming out of his closet. When I first seen that movie, I actually started crying, because I think for the first time in my life, I'd seen a movie that kind of reflected something that was going on in my younger years, and seeing people come out of the closet, and not really something everybody kind of cares to remember, or I guess talk about, because it's unusual. when we discuss these things with people about seeing entities. And that's just a part of some people's lives. There's nothing that we can do about that, and that's a part. And but as I got older, I didn't see them as much anymore, but I could always still hear them. And so I've had ancestors speak to me and show me things since I was very very young, and I've been guided by these ancestors throughout my life, and I've always paid attention. There was times I didn't, and I've said that in my documentary with the white buffalo in my introduction video that I played here on my channel, and that kind of was a part of something that was coming, I guess, to me, because I had a good idea of it. A lot of things that have happened in my life has been told to me by other people who's seen things, because like I said, there's a lot of times that I don't pay attention, but there's other people that are closer or close to me or around me who are connected as well, and they are shown things about me and told to tell me things, and I'm of course always right there. And so it's been interested. A lot of those people are out there, they know who they are, and they are very big parts of my life, whether I know them still or whether they're close to me or not. They're very big parts of my life. Still, they're in my heart. They're in my prayers all the time, and it's something that is sometimes it's really hard to understand. How, why, when all these people will come into my life at particular times has been incredible for me throughout my life, and has been very important. Without these people that have come into my life, I would never have had some of the experiences that I had. And so yeah, it's so I'm kind of scatterbrained. I probably should have wrote a format down and maybe copied that or went by it, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going like off the cuff here. So just a small introduction of who I am, what I'm doing, and things we'll be talking about. I'm hoping to have interviews with people who are also very interested and fascinating, and I think it's needed now for Winnipeg for us to just talk about stuff. And this is for grassroots people as well. Just so you know, grassroots people have never really had a lot of say in things. Where our leaders speak for us, and a lot of the grassroots people out there don't actually get a real say. I mean, we go to our meetings that are held for us on behalf of chief and council, and we attend these meetings, and yeah, we get heard then. But how much do our leaders listen to us? Well, I guess that's something that we're going to find out in the future as well. At this point, I think that there's a lot of people that are uncomfortable and not happy with the way things are going. I think that our people are extremely upset over the murdered and missing Indigenous women that continue to go missing. I think we're totally upset and over the amount of young people we lose in our communities due to suicide. And I think that there's a lot of things that our people need to discuss and talk about. And I think at times there is not that platform for us to do these things. And so this is one of the reasons why I started this channel. And I seem to hear a lot, and you have a lot of people who seem to want to tell me a lot of things, and over the years, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm a much more enlightened person than some, and it's one of the reasons I do what I do. And I think it was something that really helped me to stay out on the line as long as I did, because I'll tell you, being out on that line on the prairie, on that road for a year has been difficult. It was not easy. I went through a lot of hard things. I had to look at a lot of hard things. I had to understand things. I was in intense prayer. Most every day it was intense prayer, and I didn't know um, what else it was that I was to do out there on the line when I was shown to go out there. And I was shown some very interesting things. And my life has been changed forever. And I think that we do have a lot of things that we really have to discuss as Indigenous people, and I'm hoping to have you people to come on to this show and hopefully talk about it. Or I can come out to you. I'm not sure how this is all going to work. As much as effort as I put into doing this and thinking about this, I of course am very new at this, but we're going to do the best that I can. I have written down a lot of stuff that has come to me through prayer in regards to the things that I'll be talking about. And I'll be sharing more stories with you about my life and how that is going since I have come off the line recently. I couldn't do another winter out there. Last winter was pretty hard on me. It was really hard on my body. I have extreme arthritis. I have osteo and rheumatoid arthritis through my body. And last year was really tough out on the line. And I spent a great majority out there, as you've seen from a lot of my posts. And so that was really fun. It was awesome, and it was no problem. We survived out in the winter in Standing Rock, and I did very well out there. And I did very well out on the line last year with everything. And I think that I'm not sure how much more I'm supposed to prove myself to anybody, and I don't think I really had anything to prove. But what my thoughts were around that were that we have to raise awareness here in Manitoba in regards to a lot of things, and not just Manitoba, but every other province as well. And everybody's working hard in every province to do that. And I think that's really important. And we're going to, discuss all of those things. I think that has been going on, and where are we going? I think that we have climate action people who are doing their thing out there and working with, trying to change maybe policy in government and trying to do many other things. And then you have people like me who sit on the land, and other people like me who sit on the land, who sit on roads, who sit above pipelines or near pipelines to raise awareness. And I think that's really important as well, because without our own people out there on the land doing these things, I think that it would be a little bit harder for people to understand exactly why it is that we do these things. And I think that's one of the problems as well. I think a lot of people are out there thinking, geez, these people, just sitting out there and not doing nothing and being lazies and what are they doing? It's just, a waste of time. At least for me, that's what it's been. But I know for other camps that, there's a lot of support out there. My camp in particular, of course, has been very low key over the last year. I've had a lot of wonderful supporters come out, and a lot of incredible, wonderful people, students, teachers, and professors. And I think that's something that really kept me going out there. And it's been very interesting because I did learn a lot out there, as well as other people learned a lot from me. And so where I sit is right in the middle of the border. United States is on this side and Canada is on this side, and I'm in the middle sitting on a road right above the pipelines. And that's just the way it kind of turned out. And of course, we were brought there. I was brought there by spirit. I was driving around, and before we even started the camp out there, I was whispered in my ear when I was driving around out by Gretna and up by Winkler and all of that. There's quite an area up there of four towns. So I was driving up and around there, and I had Spirit whispered in my ear, Spirit of the Buffalo. I didn't know what that actually meant. And so I just, once again, I just listened to it and didn't think much of it. And then later on, I had to go, we went out to a meeting out there, and I'd forgotten my skirt. And so I went to retrieve my skirt out in, out around by Gretna there. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the name of that town. And, but anyway, so I went back out there, and then that's when I felt a lot of things happening. And I spoke with, someone who was there, Kenton, and I ended up visiting with him. We talked about some stuff, and I went around and driving around there because we were wanting to set up a camp, but we didn't know where. And we, as in Manitoba Energy Justice Coalition, and I sat on the board, or sit on the board with them. And so anyways, I went out and checked on that, and spoke with Kenton some more, and we worked out something, and Kenton took me out and showed me. There's a lot that I can't say and I want to say, actually, but I have to be careful. And so anyways, I went out and I found this place, and I had a feeling about this one road, and I don't know, it was just, one of those feelings. And so I went back and I got my friend, and I said, you know what? I said, I don't want to drive up this one particular road, but I need to get over there. I have this feeling of something. So anyways, so this person said, okay. And they took me up there, and I looked around, and I said, like, what is this place? And he said, oh, well, he said, well, that's United States there. This is Canada. And I just looked at him, and it was interesting because I had said to some people in Toronto before I went out, and I was actually kind of joking, but Sue, you'll remember this one. I said, I'm going to dance on both sides of the line, la, 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 la. I was kind of kidding around, but in all honesty, that's what it kind of ended up being. And I went, and when we got to the end of that road, and Kenton told me, well, that's the States there, and this is Canada, and I, and I was like, wow. But while we were sitting there, I had another voice say to me, this is the place, Geraldine. This is the place. So, and well, they didn't say my name, but I just heard them say this, like, is the place. It's interesting how I get shown things or things said to me. And so anyways, so immediately I said to Ken, I said, let's get out of here, because I said, I don't want no one to see us. But anyway, so we went out, we went back, and that's kind of right there. I'd known that was a place. So I went back and I told everybody that, okay, well, we're going to go and do this now. And this is, because this is kind of important. So we went out there, me and a bunch of folks, and you saw that from the beginning. It's all posted, and all those pictures and stuff are out on our website at Spirit of the Buffalo website or Facebook site. So kind of where we set up is where I started the Sacred Fire, and all of that is kind of interesting how that really started really incredibly out in a rainstorm. The Sacred Fire started. And we got set up there, and I parked the van. We did not know at this time that there was a gun range down the road. We had no idea that was there. I actually had no idea until I actually heard the bullets, till I heard the shooting, and that we walked over there, and it was pretty incredible. And they continued to shoot towards the camp, towards me, I guess, because I was the only one left out there. Everybody had left. Well, some people stayed. We stayed for about, I think, 3 or 4 or 5 days. People stayed with me. And that was really interesting as well. Sean and Shauna. That was very interesting. And we had another person, Amy, and a young boy, and we stayed out there, and it was hot and it was tough. We watched them digging up the other side. We got there. When we got back there was actually people digging, and they were, I'm not sure what they were doing, but we saw quite a bit. And so from then on, Shauna went home. Amy had went home, and everybody else, of course. So I was out there by myself, and I stayed out there. Everybody said I was nuts right from the beginning. I was told that the pipeline's done, blah, blah, blah. But at some point, it wasn't about that anymore. And then I told everybody, though, that those, we seen them taking out these black bags, which I imagine they were opening up the pipeline, and they were huge black bags, but they looked really unusual. Honest to God, they looked like there was big heads in them. It was, the whole thing was very strange, but y'all can, you know what, Sean and Shauna, they were there with me. They saw that. Amy saw it, and I don't know really what to say about that, but it was just a very strange day. They put those things in containers, they hauled them off. They dropped a big plate on that hole that above the lines, and then they just pushed dirt over it. And they had a security guard stay there for days watching that mound just on the other side of the ditch from me, and he watched that for about 3 or 4 days. And so I found that very interesting, because I didn't know why they were watching that mound. But then we had found a map that stated that they were supposed to be putting a pumping station right there where I am. And so that was kind of what they were supposed to be doing, but I don't know, that never happened. And then there was a pumping station a mile down on the other side of the field, next to the mile road in the United States. But I've had, like I said, a lot of really interesting, weird things happen out there. And like I said, when the road was cleared at one point, we stayed. We'd stayed, and I think I was out there going on 4 or 5 months straight by myself. I never came off the line. I never left the road. I stayed there. I had to keep starting my vehicle, though, so things didn't die. I was using my van to run everything. I'd had a lot of people come and go. I had a lot of people really upset with me out there, because then during my stay for the first 4 or 5 months, we end up, the gun range had to be shut down. And that's where now the real upset came, because a lot of people were upset that I had shut down the gun range, and that was not my intention. That's just what happened. This is just stuff that occurs when, I guess, we do the things that we do. I don't think, this didn't start out the way, that I think anyone thought. It didn't continue through the way I think anyone thought. These things sometimes are not entirely, they're not planned. We just do what we do because we feel it's the right thing to do. And that's what I did. I did what I thought was the right thing to do. And I sat on those pipes. And so what I was doing out there was praying on top of the pipes. Literally, I would sit and I would pray, and I would ask ancestors and Creator to watch over all of us, and to help us to pray to protect the land and the animals and the water and humans from these leaks and these spills, that nobody would get hurt. And to me, that was an important thing that I had to do, because when I was out in Standing Rock, it was something that I had done as well. I was praying, for people not to get hurt. I was praying for those lines, for things to go wrong, for parts to break, for anything to go wrong up on the hill, with all the machinery, and where the where the pad site was for them to tunnel under the Missouri River. I was focusing on those things and praying hard on that, and asking our ancestors to help us with those things, because they can help us with things. They can spirit can do things that are beyond what people can imagine that they can do. And I know that's really hard for a lot of people to understand, but I don't know what to tell you. I've seen these things happen before me. Many of my people in the Indigenous community around Turtle Island and probably around the world, people have seen things go on that are very hard to imagine and believe. But that's just the way that it is. There's more to the five senses that people think we have. And through prayer and believing and having faith in our ancestors, we can get to that point where we can do some incredible things. And I've done those things in my lifetime. And we'll just talk about those things again some other time, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, this is interesting, and I know I got to try and keep things short and brief. I don't know what else. I will write down more things and get them more in a format, and get back to you on all kinds of interesting things. So being out on the line for the year, whew, I tell you, it's been something. And so I'm back here for the first time in, I think, since I went out to Standing Rock. This is the first actual real home that I have that I could say that is, someplace that I can actually hang my jackets and not worry that I don't have to hopefully pack up anytime really soon. I'm starting a course here in Winnipeg to do my business plan, to get my screen printing company up and running so that we can make some money to continue to fight and help protect the environment, help protect the land and the water, help to talk about what's going on in Indian country around Turtle Island. That is always a hot topic. Our prophecy has been that the red people will rise last, and we certainly are. You could see that going on around the Turtle Island. We are rising up. We are taking back what's rightfully ours. We are speaking up. We are getting educated. We are doing the things that our ancestors, fought hard for their survival, so that one day that we could all be here to do this work for them. I certainly am here doing hard work on behalf of my grandmothers. My grandmother on my mother's side survived the smallpox from her tribe. She watched her entire tribe die before her mother and her little sister, and survived on her own. And if it wasn't for that, my unkie surviving, I wouldn't be here today to talk to you. I wouldn't have been around to do the things I've done. I wouldn't have been able to hear all the things I've heard throughout my lifetime from very interesting people. And I'll be sharing those stories from some of those very interesting people. I have to, of course, I probably won't, I'll keep the names out of it. So I'll just be referring to people that I've met and some of the things that they've told me. And, of course, a lot of people could say, she's full of crap, whatever. And yeah, so people are going to say that. I think there's a lot of YouTubers out there that, they put up with that all the time. And I'm no one special. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of backlash and a lot of people who are not going to like the things that I talk about. And, well, what are you going to do? That's just the way it is. The world is changing. We are evolving. We are becoming more higher conscious and aware. People are waking up, and that's important, that we wake up and that we start to look around and really figure out what is going on. What is going on in this world? Where are we going? And how are we all going to get there? As Indigenous people, we have a ways to go. We're working on a lot of things. People around the country, there are incredible Indigenous people who are working around the country talking about many different interesting things. And I've been so honored to find these people, to talk with them, and hope to share more with them as we go on here. But so for now, Happy New Year. I'll keep coming back with stories on me, I have to kind of look back and see what I talked about, so I don't try to be redundant. This is all new to me. In the very near future, I'm hoping that people will join me and be interested in putting out some really interesting stuff for our people in the city of Winnipeg and for throughout Turtle Island. We have a lot of things to discuss and talk about, and I'm hoping to find some of the most interested people. I have already located some people who I'll be interviewing here on this channel, and looking forward to people's responses as to maybe what do you want to hear? What is it that you guys want to hear, and what is it that you want to talk about? I'm opening this channel up for that, because as we know, where does the buffalo roam? Everywhere. And so we're going to go everywhere and talk with people, go over stories, and it's going to get really interesting. And this is going to be a wonderful, great new year. I'll be attending my course and hopefully getting back into school to finish my course with the University of Winnipeg, Aboriginal Cultural Management. And of course, like I said, I'm in the city. I'm sitting on the board of the White Buffalo Spiritual Society. We're going to talk to the elder and the president of the White Buffalo Spiritual Society, and we're going to talk about what we're going to be doing this summer and the things that we're looking at, and the understanding of my elder, Calvin Pompana, and my other elder, Ivy Chasky. I'm hoping to get her in here as well and to talk, and many other people as well. But we'll start with them for now. And yeah, and that's about it. So this is Where Does the Buffalo Roam? And I'll be coming back at you guys with a lot of interesting stuff. And this is just off the cuff, so you'll get a lot of ums and all right. Well, I gotta go. I gotta get some stuff done, and I'll pop in later. Maybe I'll write some stuff down and figure out what exactly it is that we're going to talk about. I've been rambling now. Holy henna, 37 minutes. And I hope I piqued your interest a little bit. Like I said, lots more coming your way. And alrighty. Okay, I guess I don't know how to get out of here. All right, here we go. All right, so talk to you soon. This is Geraldine McManus at Where Does the Buffalo Roam? I'm coming at you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, the heart of Turtle Island. And from the heart, there will be lots coming at you in regards to what I've mentioned. And so see you guys all soon. Peace. Take care out there, and smile. Even at strangers. Does you good. Does me good when a stranger smiles at me. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.